Welcome back to another Sunday Swings, everyone. I feel like the markets right now are not the greatest. Actually, it's a great time to be a lot more cautious and to maybe just not trade. You know, the markets are not respecting set and forget, or I'm just trading super ass, I don't know. Maybe both. It's definitely not like in the Biden markets. Those are great. But nothing is going to stop us from another great Sunday swing, so let's get right into it. USD JPY. So we had this last week. I took a nice loss right here. I mean, it's a great trade, don't get me wrong. It just didn't work. But I think now we're at this area of interest that we could take it again. We have this 4-hour head and shoulders, so we need a break and retest. Pretty basic stuff. It's accumulating, so definitely a valid trade, and this is not revenge trade just because it's the same pair. GBP JPY. Mainly I'm looking for sells, but I just looked at it again and then I thought, maybe you could also buy this pair. Weekly, we are bullish, but had this bearish huge candle, bearish engulfing. Then we had a doji. Last week we had this retest. We are at this area of interest. Basically tweezer tops not fully engulfed. Then the doji. So we could now have a morning star formation, or we just continue to the downside. I think I was interested in buys from this area already last week, but I didn't take them. So now we could take buys from this area to the upside or just sells. I mean, this, if you count this as a left shoulder, then we have a head and shoulders pattern, I guess. Not the cleanest. We're at this area of interest, so I think you could take this to both sides, just be cautious either way. Yeah. AUD CAD, this is a high risk trade. We are at not the highest, but a pretty high point in quite some time, in like 5 years. So basically the only confluence is this for our area of interest. We are bullish on the daily, on the weekly, on the 4-hour. If we break, I mean, if we count this, and then it looks something like this, and then actually we are bearish again. So we are already bearish. This is a bit of a head and shoulders. It's actually a pretty nice head and shoulders. We just need the break, retest, and then the move to the downside. This is obviously super high risk, but whatever pays the bills, I guess. Then this also super high risk trade. We are super low, basically at the lowest ever, apart from this time right here. On the weekly, we had the move to the downside, then had the equal high, I guess, and then now last week again we came to the downside. So maybe we now get the break below this. I guess I could extend this and it would make sense. Let's see. It does make sense here on the 4-hour and one tap. I mean, we have these two wick tabs, but it's cleaner right here. So also super high risk. We could think of taking this to the upside or to the downside from this area of interest. Either case, well, to the downside we just need a break, retest, and then have the move to the upside through the downside. And if we want to take this straight to the upside, I would like some, shift of structure. Maybe just break a bit below this low and then break above this high, and then we are bullish again. Yep. Then Euro AUD, we are at this pretty strong area of interest in a pretty long time. Last time we were this low was exactly 1 year ago. Funny enough. So last week we had this doji, pretty nice weekly and daily area of interest. We're obviously bearish on all. I guess on the weekly we are bullish, but on the daily we are bearish. And then on the 4 hour, something like this. We just need some confirmation that we are bullish. This is again a super high risk pair, just like most of the others. But right now the markets are really behaving so differently to whenever we could make some real money, if you know what I mean. Yeah. UGP, this actually looks clean. We have this area of interest pretty strong on the weekly. One tap, one tap, one tap. This is a week, this is also weak, and then we have some real structure. On the daily as well, pretty clean. We broke above, and now on the 4 hour, just some retest to this area, and then take buys to the upside. I think this is my favorite pair. Let's take a look. Yeah, UGP is my favorite pair, and then these two JPY pairs are also pretty interesting. The AUD CAD, CHF, Euro AUD, they are all a bit more high risk. And then we also have NZD USD. On the weekly we had this bearish engulfing retest last week. We're actually at the same area of interest we already once were. The 4 hour area of interest looks pretty clean. We have the EMA. I don't exactly know what my initial thought was. No, I do know. My initial thought was to go long on this, just break above this structure point and then retest and then do the move to the upside. But I think you can also take this to the downside. We're at this area of interest and it just depends on, do we break above or do we have a strong break to the downside, and then we could take the trade. It's again super high risk. On the weekly we are bullish. On the daily we are also bullish. On the 4 hour, if we break above, then we are also bullish again. So definitely I'm more interested in buys, but we could somehow reject from this area, then just break below this or break below this, and then could also take this to the downside. But I'm more interested in buys. So my favorite pairs are the two JPY pairs, UGP and NZD USD, and then these are just 3 super degenerate trades. But yeah, I don't see any real other opportunities this week. I mean, something like this, you could do something like this, but this is too much choppiness for me. You could do something like this, but then you have to wait, and I mean, we're at the lowest point ever. You don't know where you would put your stop loss. I mean, your take profit. There definitely are some other opportunities, but these are my favorite pairs. And then we also have some more interesting combinations like USD, SGD, Singapore dollar. I don't think we have the Israeli shekel here. I don't know how much the Iran war is going to impact the forex markets. I guess the USD, the US dollar, and then maybe some oil currency. I actually don't know which currency has a lot of correlation to oil. Maybe Canadian dollar, or maybe some kind of dollar, or Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. Yeah, I guess we'll see. I don't really like this week from the market's perspective, but we certainly can make some nice trades happen. Let's see what we get. If we get some super nice market structure and everything is super clean to every one of us and we all take the same trade, could be great, but I guess we'll have to see. This week Alex will reveal Athena. This could be fun. Let's see if Athena maybe gives us some nice trades. But for now we have to wait for the right opportunities. And with that, guys, I hope we all make some money this week. And see you guys next week. Bye.